All right, welcome into Market Day Report. I'm Scott Shellady, otherwise known as the Cow Guy. Thank you very much for tuning us in here this morning. If you've been with us all day, that's great too. But you know what? Whatever we say right now is not going to mean that much in about 15 minutes when we get that WASDE and finally get those numbers we've been waiting for since last October. Well, all right, let's take a look at corn. Let's bring in, and what we're going to do is we're going to start this by giving us a starting point, right? So let's start with corn. We're going to say corn's down 4.5 going into the report, right? So we're down 4.5 in that D's contract. 471 3/4 is last there. We've had a 6-cent range or 5.5-cent range, and we're a penny off the lows. So a penny off the lows of a 5.5-cent range, right? We're down 4.5 cents. That's what we're going to say the starting point is. And the reason we do that is, like, if corn finishes up 10 cents, you know that we've rallied 15 cents basically, right? Or if it finishes down another, down 10 cents, it means that we only broke another, say, 5 cents after the report. So just to get an idea about where we're jumping off from, that's corn. Let's take a look and see what the beans have in store for us here. Soybeans. Let's go to the Jan. That's down, call it down 9 cents, right? Just between us friends. But 8 3/4 cents lower in the Jan. 13.57. Now it's down 9 cents. 13.56 3/4 is last. That's about 2 3/4 to 3 cents off the low of the day. And we're only about 17 cents off the high. So we've got almost a 20-cent range over there. 19 cents between friends. And so we're about 3 cents off the lows of a 19-cent range. That'll give you an idea about how that's trading. You know what? We technically didn't trade very well yesterday on the close. So that's soybeans right now. Wheat, let's see what's happening there. This is the Chicago wheat market. Let's call that down 13 cents amongst friends, right? 13.5 cents lower in Dees to 578 3/4. A penny and 3/4 off the low of the day, and the rear view is the high is about 14 cents away, up at 592.5. So that's Dees wheat in Chicago, down 13.5 cents. Let's say take a look and see what Kansas City's got in store for us. That's the hard red. We're going to call that down a dime. 9 3/4 cents lower in that Dees to 645 1/4. 4 cents off the low of the day, and we're about 9 cents off the highs. So that's what we've got going on in the hard red wheat. That's Kansas City, and that's Dees going into this report here in about 13 minutes. Let's take a look at the spring wheat, Minneapolis. That's down 4 cents to 731.5. I'll tell you what, that's about 5 cents off the lows and 4 cents, 3.5, 4 cents off the high. So that's pretty much right in the middle of the day's range, but we're going to call it down 4 cents going into the report. So that's what we've got going on in those crops. So take a look at cotton and see what that's got in store for us. During the radio show, it was higher, and it's actually put on some more gains here. Dees is up 216 points. Finally got a bounce. 77.05 is last. Only 14 points off of the high of the day. All right, let's bring in our next guest analyst to talk about these things with. It's Peter Haralambakis. He's with CHS. Thank you very much, Peter, for joining the show. He's in Inver Grove Heights at the home office where the breakfasts and lunches are all warm and everything's free, and they get everything catered to them, right? It's fantastic. Top place in America to work, right?
That's right, living the dream, right? So again, overall, all the action that you just mentioned, right, isn't necessarily conviction that everybody understands what the report's going to show today, right? So even with China purchasing 1.04 million metric tons of U.S. soybeans, just adding to the buying spree that they've gone on, just like you said, beans are down 8 1/4. All anticipation of what the yields are going to be, right? We did have export sales as well. So those export sales did come out today. Wheat had an actual of 354,300. Estimates were between 250 and 500,000. Corn, 1.1 million. Estimates were for 600,000 and 1.2. Soybeans, 1.1 million as well. That range was for estimates of 800,000 and 1.5. Soy meal, 193,500. Range for that was on the lower end of the range, 100,000 to 400,000 there. Soy oil, 2,600. Estimates were for 0 to 6,000. So again, soybean sales were on the lower middle part of the expectations. Sales did top 1 million tons for the 5th straight week, however. Corn sales were near the middle of the expectations. Sales were over 1 million tons for the third time this year. Wheat sales were also near the middle of expectations, right? So again, like we're saying, all eyes are going to be on today's WASDE report. Analysts pegging the U.S. corn yield at 173.2 bushels per acre, up from 173 last month and just below the year-ago results of 173.4. Our team has, for corn, 173.2, spot on kind of with estimates there. Ending stocks, we're still sitting at that 2.1 billion carryout. So again, that's going to be a tough one to kind of get off the schneid here, especially if we're testing this technical support level. Watch for WASDE to potentially break down below that three times made it in regard to support level in the technical aspect of the corn around the 470 level. For soybeans, USDA has the yield at 49.6. Our team has 49.8. Ending stocks there is going to be a little bit different for USDA at 220. Our team has 231. In regard to wheat, we're looking at a yield of 48.6 for our team, kind of spot on with USDA there. Ending stocks, we're a little bit below what the USDA has out there with, we're at 666, the lucky number. USDA has 670 there. So again, like you're saying, all eyes on today's WASDE report. Anything that we say right now isn't necessarily going to matter, but we are kind of at the tail end of harvest season here. Should have a pretty good idea of exactly how these numbers should play out. But the volatility is still there, especially with soybeans, right? So we did have that massive rally over the handful of days here, all stemming from South America weather and climate situation, and then obviously all the export data that's funneling through. So wait to see here, Scott.
All right, well, it looks good, and no matter what, you look good saying it. How's that sound? All right, thanks for all those numbers, brother. We need them. All right, thanks for being on. Peter, we're going to go away. We're going to pay some bills, take a quick break. We're going to come back and talk more livestock with me after this.